You are tuned in to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebs and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and enthogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck, Rico Lamitte, and Nichole West, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Thank you for getting high at 9 with us.
Oh, yes. Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, September 23rd. It's National Teal Talk Day, National Snack Stick Day, National Great American Pot Pie Day, National Checkers Day, National Dogs in Politics Day, National Restless Leg Awareness Day, and National Celebrate Bisexuality Day. Thank you for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. We're live every Monday through Friday on YouTube and audio only on Clubhouse. And if you aren't on Clubhouse, you can also participate in the show by raising your hand if you have a brief comment on the story most recently presented. But without further ado, let's get and pay a quick bill and get right back to the news.
At True Classic OG, we live by one motto: stay true. We stay true to our legacy cut of True OG that's always fresh, piney, gassy, and delicious. We represent the spirit, hustle, and diversity of our great city of Angels. And we stay true to the spirit of this plant, doing everything in-house to ensure that you get the highest quality and consistency with every batch. And that's what's made us LA's favorite OG. True Classic OG. Stay true, Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah. Good morning. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day today. Coming up first, that's right, it is the dope dad himself, Rico Lamitte. When he's not changing diapers or babysitting kids, as well as his own child. You can find him babysitting grown-ass adults at a TEDx convention somewhere across the greater United States. And when he's not doing anything like that, you can find him constantly brushing up on his football drills, because you know what he's the best at? That's right, backpedaling, because he constantly does it whenever we talk about safe banking. That's right, coming up to the stage next is none other than the dope dad himself, Rico Lamitte.
Oh, yeah. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you for taking away yet again a little bit of time from your Truth Social feed to deliver that outstanding intro, Jason Beck. Welcome back, everyone out there watching, listening, and getting high at 9 with us yet again on this beautiful, beautiful Friday morning. My headline today is from Green Market Report by Adam Jackson. Seattle paves the way for social equity with free cannabis licenses. You get a license. You get a license. Everybody gets a license. This Wednesday, Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell signed 3 bills into law in a stated effort to address equity, help foster a more diverse industry, and support cannabis store workers. He was joined by Councilmember Teresa Mesquita, who helped develop the legislation and sponsored the bills in council. All 3 bills were developed in partnership with industry stakeholders and employees. The first of which was CB 120391, expresses the city of Seattle's intent to engage in cannabis equity, expungement of cannabis convictions, equity work and funding, and help and develop a needs assessment for needs within the workforce and cannabis industry. The second, CB 120393, requires employers to take action and develop job retention, security, and stability within the industry. The third one we're going to take a deeper dive into, CB 120392, which advances equity in cannabis licensing and expands license activities. It all seems good on the surface, but is it too little too late? We'll get to that in a second. The law lets those located within and outside Seattle who do business in the city a chance to secure cannabis licensing, and applicants must already be licensed in the Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board, and it's open to residents who live in areas with high poverty or who have been directly affected by the war on drugs. This group's immediately eligible for $0 cannabis licenses to operate in the city, and applicants must have at least 51% controlling ownership in the business. Also, to qualify businesses under this ordinance, it must be owned by at least one individual who has been convicted of a cannabis offense, a drug offense, or is family member is a family member of such an individual. These usually go for around $3,500, so it's $3,500 you can keep in your pocket. While everything so far sounds okay, the devil is in the details. Applicants for the licenses are required to already have a valid state license for cannabis businesses, including but not limited to a license to produce, process, distribute, or transport cannabis or cannabis products. Per the article, Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board has ceased issuing more licenses, so those looking to obtain one must purchase it from a current license holder. And I'm not sure they'll be willing to let theirs go for cheap. So expect a ton of licenses hitting the secondary market for a premium, with new entrants looking to try their hand in the legal game. Though California first legalized medical in '96, Washington and Colorado became the first two adult states allowing both sales and possession back in 2012. Is the market too mature and or saturated, making it too little too late for Seattle to be jumping in on the social equity bandwagon? I don't know. Either way, I hope these new laws help create a more equitable place to do business, and the community is long overdue for their piece of the pie get some relief from the economic boom. There's Rico Lamitte, dopest dad on the street for High at 9 News, and I'm interested in hearing everyone else's thoughts on this one. What do you think, Jason?
I mean, I feel like Washington State is like taking a role out of Colorado, where it's like you're so late to the game on social equity licenses. It's like
Right.
I just don't understand it. Like, it's so late in the game for this. Not saying it's not a good thing. Don't get it twisted, okay? But I'm just saying I think it's extremely late in the game if we're trying to give these people a jump start up.
Right.
I mean, you're not wrong in it being late in the game, but let's be very real. There isn't a lot of people in the first two states that legalized cannabis that were fighting for that as a voice, as much as there are in some of the other states that have come along, like California, along the way. Not as much forward progressive thinking as far as like equality when it comes to like racial discrimination that has been happening. There's not, as somebody who lived in Colorado, it's the most fucking vanilla place I've ever existed. I'm from LA, so like I don't think that necessarily there was as much vocalization early on. Like, honestly, I think one of the few people that was really vocalizing in Colorado in the beginning, the only person I know that was saying it loudly and everyone, loves, but Wanda James, she was the only person speaking in Colorado for years about the equity issue that was happening and the racist issues of the war on drugs. And so, Wanda can't move the fucking mountain all by herself. It took other places and other states to come up and then look back at Colorado and look back at it with a fucking attitude. Like, what are you doing? Like, what do you, and that's kind of what happened with Washington and Colorado is the other states came along and were like, what the fuck did you guys do? How'd you miss this?
So Nicole, yeah. I have a question in regards to this, because we've often called social equity predatory gifting.
That's what I call
Socialist,
it.
Yes.
Socialist
Okay.
equity.
So socialist equity, predatory gifting. I mean, don't you think that this is kind of the same situation in Washington, where it's a predatory gifting because the market's been open for so long?
No, this is different. Like, predatory gifting, to me, the way I look at it is like when you're going through and the person's going to have absolutely no involvement. I think this one, when we're having that conversation of that next license, I think if they are part of a new or of one of the licenses that are already existing, I think that there is an opportunity for a lot of people that are just kind of already there. I think what's happening right now is you're seeing a bunch of people that were like, wait, social equity is a thing. Like I was a victim of the war on drugs. I was a victim of the war on drugs. I think you're going to see some people that are actually already involved in some of these businesses. A good example is I think Have a Heart has active people in their organization that would qualify, and Have a Heart's one of the largest chains in Washington state. And so like their original OG squad is going to qualify for this. So one of the oldest groups in the state is going to be able to have people on their team that's going to qualify within their squad. So
I mean, last time I said something about Have a Heart, something positive about them, I got like a lot of people from Seattle were hitting me up and saying like, "Fuck Have a Heart." Like,
well, because Have a Heart sold,
yeah.
because here's what happened: Have a Heart sold to High Times, and then in that, and then High Times sold to Harvest, and then what happened was that whole thing fucking imploded. And Have a Heart's contract, this is the fucking coolest shit ever. You're right for a minute. Fuck Have a Heart, because Have a Heart was Harvest, was High Times, was corporate cannabis, but High Times and Harvest both defaulted on the original contract. And so Have a Heart got all 6 of their licenses back in Washington. So it's the original squad. So like last year it wasn't, but this year they're back. And so the original team is back running Have a Heart right now. And so I would say they'll probably have a little bit of a different.
So are we going to sing The Boys Are Back in Town?
All right. I have a question, and maybe I'm just not that bright this morning. But can someone explain to me how this is supposed to work? Because it says applicants for the licenses are required to already have a valid state cannabis
That's why I said
license.
that's why I said the devil's in the details. Like they're supposed to already have a license. Like
How does
applicants,
this
like,
work?
So that's the same. It's the same way that they're
licensing
running. But the reason that they're doing this, it's the same way they're running the incubation programs in most states. The problem is you give somebody a license and they have no idea what they're doing, and they have no concept and no network. The idea behind this is that it's basically an incubation type program, right? You would work with another company that already exists, and so you'd help incubate them. And so that's the idea.
It's
Okay,
the blind
okay,
leading
okay.
the blind leading the blind.
10
Because
seconds.
like a lot of
So,
those existing shops,
if you
like, really
already
don't know what they're
have a
doing either.
license,
Washington's evolved. Yeah.
if you already have a license, but you don't know what the hell you're doing, where I don't understand where the free cannabis license comes into this.
Right. Gretchen, thank you for putting that. That's like I'm like, this
I don't
kind
get
of
it.
like it sounds good on the surface, but at the same time, I'm like, when are they ever going to be free? Because there's no licenses, there's no outstanding licenses that they're putting out there. So you have to buy them from somebody who already has the license.
Like I'm a 6-year-old. Explain it, Nicole.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
truly
Yes,
not
okay.
getting this.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Hold
an
on, Troy.
operator.
Hold on. Troy in our audience said he's been fighting for a license in the city for 7 years. So I mean,
But they're not issuing more licenses is also what it says. So
yeah, I don't get it. Go.
They're not issuing new independent licenses. Okay. So if you're starting from scratch, you can't start from scratch in Washington state right now. Okay. You can't go in and just get a brand new license. The idea, and Long Beach is doing a similar program, right? You as a social equity business would have to partner with an already existing business that's in good standing in the government. Basically, you have to work with them. And so the idea is that this group would be able to become a partner in your business, so they win by getting another thing on another business in their ecosystem.
But if I have a business that's doing okay, why am I going to partner with somebody just to be politically correct? Why would I care?
No, Gretchen, you're getting another license.
You get more.
So that's the free license. Is if you take
the free license is an additional one, but it has to be associated with a pre-existing one. So you have to be in the network. And so the idea is that hopefully these people won't flounder all by themselves. Hopefully there's a network of other businesses that they can be with. And I don't disagree that it's probably going to go fucking completely wrong. But the idea, Long Beach is doing similar. They're trying to do an incubation program. So you come in and you work with an already existing license. And once you make it through XYZ, you get to leave the incubation program and get your own license that incubation license is now a small percentage of to expand their business model. So it's like a franchise almost. It creates like a franchise model for social equity.
I would say to Adam Jackson at Green Market Report, work on your writing skills, because I don't fucking get any of that from the article.
I think this may actually
convoluted across the board. I looked on the Washington State website. It is just as confusing, Gretchen. So it's not. To me, it seems like a smokescreen, and I'd love to like get more color on this. Like I said, on the surface, it sounds okay, but like, where are you going to get the licenses? And if they're going for 3,500 currently on the secondary market, it sounds like a saturated market already, and the licenses are already diluted. So
Washington is a super saturated market,
yeah,
for sure. But at the same time, if it's going to work out how Nichole is presenting, then I think that actually might be a good thing, because social equity applicants will have the ability to incubate within someone that's already operational, and they'll be able to teach them the hands-on skills to be able to operate that business successfully. So I think this could possibly be good. All right, but I'm going to still reserve judgment.
Right. Like, I'm cautiously optimistic. And then big shout out to Dr. Delta, aka Kimo Kiawe. He said it's National Native American Day too. And hopefully the Native American population up in Seattle, which is very, very, very vast up there, they get a crack at the industry too. But I don't know where they're going to get these licenses from. Just like Gretchen was saying. Like, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic. It sounds good on the surface, but
we'll see. See.
Everything sounds good on the surface during an election year.
It sounds good.
Speaking of sounds good on the surface, up next we have Mr. Jason Beck. Jason's the longest running retailer in the history of cannabis, the member of whatever political party that might piss you off, and also potentially the guy that's going to change the world by becoming Beck for president 2024. What do you have for us, Jason?
Oh, yes, that is so true, Nichole. You're so right. That was an amazing introduction. I hope everyone is excited about this story today, because the cannabis industry just got a big victory from a Supreme Court. It's not the Supreme Court, but a Supreme Court, because the Arkansas Supreme Court decision allows adult use cannabis on the November ballot. What? Arkansas, for the first time, will have the chance to vote on adult use cannabis during the general election on November 8th. The historic decision was made by the Arkansas Supreme Court, who on Thursday reversed a ruling by the State Board of Election Commissioners. The Arkansas Supreme Court stated Arkansasians should be allowed to vote on legalizing adult use cannabis. Eddie Armstrong with Responsible Growth Arkansas is part of a group who pushed for the initiative. He told KATV News the court's ruling simply shows the state is moving in the right direction. This is a historical in a lot of ways, and I'm very happy that now the people of Arkansas, we as a campaign have a lot of work to do, Armstrong said. But now the people of Arkansas will now allow for their voices to be heard. Armstrong said they have done everything necessary since the beginning of the year to get the amendment on the ballot, including gathering a record number of signatures. He says, this simply reinforces what 190,000 people, a record-breaking number of people that put their names on these petitions to see this get on the ballot, Armstrong said. Part of the court's ruling would require child-proof packaging and restrictions on advertisements that appeal to children, which is not uncommon in many states. Armstrong believes the passing of our issue for benefits many Arkansans, he says, to remind them that a vote for this issue will indeed be beneficial to the citizens of our state, he said, not only to law enforcement, but for cancer research and their accreditation to UAMS, and then on to our drug courts. In addition, according to Armstrong, Issue 4 could create a $850 million economic impact for the state, he said. They still have a lot of work to do from now until Election Day. And he also states, there's new revenue, there's a new boom in our state, close to $850 million here. So that's a big number when you're talking about a state that needs to improve healthcare, that needs to potentially improve education and advocacy, Armstrong said. According to Armstrong, a poll last week stated that the issue has a 60% chance of passing. He said their proposal is a responsible and well-regulated amendment. But hold on, don't get too happy too fast, everybody, because the prohibitionists are still hard at work in Arkansas. Because the Family Council President Jerry Cox released a statement saying Issue 4 is a misleading proposal to legalize marijuana in Arkansas. It was crafted and supported by the marijuana industry. If it passes, Arkansas arguably will have the most unregulated cannabis industry of any state in America that could bring serious crime and drug problems to Arkansas. Cox said issue 4 is a recipe for disaster in Arkansas. Issue 4 specifically prohibits the state from requiring criminal background checks for certain marijuana business owners. It legalizes any and all products, chemicals, and derivatives made from the cannabis plant, and it blocks public officials from zoning marijuana businesses or restricting marijuana use. It says point blank that state and local government cannot place additional taxes on marijuana. The amendment makes marijuana one of the least regulated industries in Arkansas, and he says that is a recipe for disaster. Cox said Arkansasians need to understand that marijuana legalization is being driven by drug cartels and big businesses. Marijuana is a multi-billion-dollar business. Drug cartels and shady corporations are cashing in on marijuana in states like Oregon and California. They clearly want to expand their market to Arkansas. We remain committed to fighting them every step of the way. Our state doesn't need another drug problem. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Cox, I'm pretty sure that there's cannabis already in your state. So if it's already there, you already have the problem. So I don't understand why you want to fight it. If you regulate it and tax it, state will actually get some money, and you can make sure that it doesn't get in the hands of kids and minors and so forth and whatnot. But nonetheless, we will push on, and this is Jason Beck reporting for High at 9 News.
Has anybody ever smoked weed in Arkansas that's on the stage right now?
I've never bought weed in Arkansas, but I've smoked weed in Arkansas.
Was it Arkansas?
No, it was my weed. It was my weed.
Well,
I would not buy weed in Arkansas
Has
ever.
anybody ever
Ever.
Arkansas weed,
being
do you think
from-
it's just Oklahoma weed?
Yeah, being
Very
from the
true,
South,
Gretchen. Very, very true.
being from the South, Arkansas is just like one of those states you just don't stop. You don't stop.
Yeah.
If you're driving through that motherfucker, you just don't.
Arkansas is actually quite pretty.
I will.
Yeah, but when you're driving, look out the window. Don't stop.
I will take a second to state that Arkansas is one of the 16 states where your vote is restored after prison, probation, or parole. I will continue to educate people in their states in regards to their voting rights as felons, because I do think that this is something that kind of bites us in the ass when we do have felonious records, to not realize that we are able to vote. So Arkansans, whatever how do you say?
As long as you're
Arkansas.
Arkansans.
You don't sound
Arkansans.
Well, whatever the case, as long as you're done with your probation or parole, you are eligible to vote. So definitely something that we want to make sure that everyone in Arkansas knows as this develops.
Yes,
Did
and
Bill
vote
Clinton
for
do
Amendment
that
4. I love the fact that how he tried to spin how the prohibitionist Mr. Cox tried to spin this whole article, where he goes into saying that this is all done by big cannabis, and then he goes into his next comments to say that big cannabis is nothing more than the cartels running shit.
Yeah.
Wow. They obviously don't know that Chad and Brad are not.
Exactly. Chad and Brad would get their ass kicked by the cartel.
Oh my gosh. El Chapo would fucking
They would get kidnapped.
ruin them.
Yes, they'd get kidnapped and thrown into the den of tigers.
They would die. Oh my goodness.
They'll be taken over
Yeah,
by
they're-
Jesus.
It's like so far from the opposite of the truth as far as like corporate cannabis. I mean, there's definitely been some strange involvement with Russian investors, but I've not seen any of these MSOs be cartels by any means.
I agree. It's crazy talk.
Crazy.
But make sure if you're in Arkansas, you vote for Amendment 4 on November 8th.
Arkansas.
Anybody out there? Let's keep it.
You have any thoughts on this, Gretchen?
Yeah,
I
Gretchen.
think it's a wonderful
Beautiful.
thing. To me, it's, the more
Arkansas
states, the
sympathizer.
better. I mean, when it comes to Washington, you need the numbers. So to say, another state is taking on adult use, no matter how fucked up it is, I think that's good for the national picture.
The national pulse
There
is
you go,
beating weed.
Gretchen. I love the pragmatic voice from Gretchen saying, just look at the big picture. All these fucked up little things add up to one beautiful big thing, right?
Big old safe banking.
Come on, say it, Nicole. Just say it. Deschedule or bust. Come on.
I would say if it does pass, the people from California are going to start moving to Arkansas in droves.
Like they
You
did
think so?
Oklahoma,
You think
like
so,
they did
Omar?
Oklahoma?
Yeah, because it's such a
move it from?
laissez-faire system with minimal regulation and no taxation.
Where are they going to remove from?
Well, no, there is taxation. What they're saying in the bill, it says that the legislature can't increase the taxes that it's going to be, which I think is a fantastic thing for any state to incorporate, because, as you know, high taxes only fuel an illicit market that is running wild across America.
Who needs hydroponics when you got swamp water?
All the swamp water's in D.C. where Gretchen's at.
Left over from Trump?
No, left over from the Democrats in charge right now. Joe Biden's America.
Don't ruin my intro with fucking Trump, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, hold on, I need like a moment of silence between my fucking intro and any conversations about him. Hold on. Right now go.
That's a great segue, because as a felon, our next co-host prides herself into more than just showing up and getting hyphy and getting freaky in the spreadsheets. She's an ag and efficiency expert, spending her downtime working on the ever elusive doctorate in dirtbag psychology, now offered at Long Beach Community College, celebrating National White Chocolate Day yesterday and today. What are you celebrating today, Nicole? I don't know what the celebration is today.
Today is National Native American Day.
National Bisexuality Day.
No, but what are you most excited for?
National Dogs in Politics Day.
There we go.
My dog has a lawyer, Mr. Jason Beck. Jason represents my dog to lobby for him on his Trito intake. So National Dogs in Politics Day.
Make America.
I would imagine Gretchen's Salem is for sure a Republican.
Are they going to be running mates? So split the ticket.
That's right. Pause up.
Well, there we go. Bipartisan National Dog in Politics Day. That's what she's celebrating, and she's a self-described General Data Biatch. Coming to the stage next, Nichole West. What you got?
I am coming in hot today with some information from West Virginia. Rico, you're from West Virginia, right?
Virginia.
Fuck no.
Oh no,
he's from East Virginia.
Regular Virginia. Okay, sorry, my bad.
In West Virginia, you got mountain men, inbreds, and racists, and Joe Manchin. Anyways,
well, if you look at history, it was all Virginia when it began. So,
and why did West Virginia break off?
That's right.
Look deeper into history. Why did West Virginia break off?
Well, let's find that out.
Because we only had 49 states.
My story is coming out of West Virginia. West Virginia Medical Cannabis Advisory Board proposes THC caps. Just another reason to know that you're only going to get boof in West Virginia. A proposal on the cap of the potency for medical marijuana could do more harm than good. The West Virginia Medical Cannabis Advisory Board met a few weeks ago to discuss a proposal to the cap of potency of THC medical marijuana to, hold it guys, 10%.
10%.
Holy shit. Adam Goers, a senior vice president of corporate affairs with leading medical cannabis provider of Columbia Care, said that what the board is doing does not make sense. The science doesn't back up the desire by some to move forward with that. Ultimately, we believe that this is a decision between patients and physicians and pharmacists, Goer says. The board decided that to table the proposal until the next meeting. Princeton's Greenlight Dispensary general manager, Brittany Elmore, says that it's disheartening to know that the board isn't taking the matter seriously. She said she wants the medical cannabis board members to talk to actual people who are taking actual marijuana. They need to talk to patients. They need to stop talking to other politicians and pharmaceutical companies, and they need to see real proof. And the real proof is in the patients that walk through the door every day and say that they are no longer on any opioids and that they've stopped their Suboxone and they're off their painkillers. And they have to do this. All they have to do is medicate with cannabis, Elmore says. So this is super interesting because every single state has at some point in the South has tried this, and almost all of them have been backed down. I'm curious to see if West Virginia gets backed down, but a 10% cap is like, that's the boofiest of boof. Like, I don't even know how to tell.
Is that the lowest level that's been put out there? I feel like I haven't heard of a cap lower than that.
I have not heard of a cap lower than that either. And I'm kind of concerned, but I also don't know very much about West Virginia as far as their politics are concerned outside of the stuff that Rico said earlier. And now what Gretchen told me is that it's all Virginia.
Well, they have elected Democrats.
No, come on. Don't be gaslighting the shit out of me. Get me all hyped up over that. It's not all fucking Virginia.
West Virginia are gun-toting, Bible-loving people. That's what West Virginia is.
All you need to know about West Virginia is Joe Manchin. Think of Joe Manchin and think of him not helping his people.
Well, and think of Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin, I would say Joe Manchin is pretty moderate for West Virginia. I think West Virginia is a lot redder than Joe Manchin.
Look at Joe Manchin's history.
100%.
You'll stop thinking that he's really moderate. Look at his history. Look at his lineage.
I know Joe Manchin. He's a very nice man.
He could be nice. He could be nice, but if you look at his history and you look at his political lineage, you will say like this is not very moderate at all.
We
he's
do
not
have
looking up for the rights of his people.
He's pretty moderate.
We do have Malik up from the audience.
Malik, what's up?
Nothing too relevant. I'm gonna keep it real short. You watch Deliverance; they don't need a cap on THC in West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think they need a cap in West Virginia either.
Thanks, Malik.
West Virginia has had a lot of difficulty getting through the legalization process. First, they were going to go big into hemp, and now they try to do the medical. They just don't know what the hell they're doing there.
You know why?
10% would be terrible. 10% would be terrible, and that would make me wonder how they're gonna are they gonna make every edible be like 10 milligrams packaged as 10 milligrams only, and you can only buy like 3 of them at like a month or something? Like, what are we doing here?
Maybe they can look to their Pennsylvania neighbors for a little guidance on that, Gretchen.
Sounds like the trap market's going to be alive and well.
Does your article say who's on the advisory board? Who are these idiots that are proposing this?
It doesn't say who they are. It just says that it's called the West Virginia Medical Cannabis Advisory Board.
It sounds like they're funded by Project Sam.
They're probably from Texas.
I'm gonna look them up.
Some Texans good up there. Just swipe your card here. Swipe here. We'll get you your licenses.
Oh yeah.
I think they will. Someone will clue them in soon that 10% does not work.
You think so?
10% is
10% is
standard.
10% is ridiculous. It's not even all it's going to do is fuel an illicit market. I mean, you don't even have the worst weed here in California testing at 10.
How much you need? 10%. Give me 10%.
Ahmad, State Health Officer and Commissioner. Jan Cahill, Superintendent of West Virginia State Police. Ooh, that person's fun. Mr. M. Joe Deegan, Social Worker. Mr. W. Jesse Forbes, Attorney. There's a patient advocate, Mr. Russell Williams. He's the only person that's
He's the person whose vote basically doesn't count because he always gets outvoted.
Fuck.
What's his name again?
Russell Williams, patient advocate for West Virginia. James Berry, that's my grandpa's name. He's a psychiatrist. Addiction medicine coach, Edward AQ, president of board of pharmacy, internal medicine, UC School of Pharmacy, anesthesiology, pain medicine, another attorney, and the Department of Agriculture.
You went to UC?
UC School of Pharmacy.
They're definitely not getting a UC on that board. That's for sure.
UC nothing.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that story, Nicole. That was fascinating.
West VA booth packs on the way.
And don't forget, if this is anything to signal, the guy who used to be in charge of West Virginia is now in charge of the FDA. Remember that shit, people.
Ooh, there's going to be definitely some news about that coming up. Oh, yeah. All right, but welcome to Los Ashes, the headiest city in America. Los Ashes is a 10-pound smokable city curated and created by the world-renowned roller Weavers. In the past, Weavers has amazed cannabis lovers with his roll jobs, such as the smokable 5-pound rocket launcher and the 10-pound Darth Vader. But now Weavers is rolling an entire city. You can have your business featured in Los Ashes with a ton of different sponsorship opportunities available. Contact Weavers at smokablecity.com for full sponsorship information.
The thoughts and opinions in general shade thrown on the High at Night News are those of the individual speakers, not those of the speaker or its followers. The statements made do not constitute legal or accounting advice, and their speakers make no representation regarding the legal status of any substance in any country, area, territory, or its authorities. The views expressed on this room do not establish fiduciary relationships. Our sponsors do not imply, constitute the endorsement by us, the expression of any opinion whatsoever, the part of any of the speakers or anyone on stage. If you're an easily offended person, the show is probably not for you. Also, fuck off. Sorry, guys, I have cotton mouth.
Flying into LAX and you want to taste some of the best weed in the world? Then stop by LAXCC, the closest dispensary to LAX. Located at 8332 Lincoln Boulevard and open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. Always make LAXCC your first stop when you touch down in LA and score like a winner. And don't forget to tell them
body type in medical school. There's so many things that, are real, and we know they're real, and we know they're real because we use them and we do them and we feel the difference of our bodies. And so like, I just thank you, doctor, for being a part of this, but like also for being one of those doctors that helps other people see outside of the box that, you know, westernized medicine has like forced many physicians into, like forced them.
We have Dr. Felicia also up.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I agree with you 1,000%, Dr. Jean. I think that the cannabis research may need to be more like what Bonnie Goldstein and her group did with autism. Like all the children in that study use different things. Some of them use THC dominant, some of them use 1-to-1, some of them use CBD predominant, but they all improved. All their biomarkers were demonstrably better after treatment in various ways. And I think that's how we're going to need to do cannabis. Tailor it to the individual, but look at the results. And if you're getting good results, that shows efficacy, and it will usually be showing safety as well. So I agree with you 1,000%, Dr. Jean.
And thanks, Dr. Felicia. And also, maybe this is an indication of precision medicine. You know, maybe this is what we're finding, that certain people require certain specified doses rather than one size fits all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jean, Dr. Felicia. You guys literally help us learn and stay on the cutting edge of what's going on in cannabis medicine. So thank you for that. And really just what a great show. So much interaction today on some really insightful topics. Thank you guys for tuning in and getting high at 9 with us. And sorry about our YouTube technical difficulties that we were having earlier. Not real sure what's going on there. Sorry about the cottonmouth too. But thanks for getting high with us. Oh, catch us on Twitch. Catch us on catch us on...
Make sure you watch us on Rumble after this.
Oh my God, don't watch us on Rumble. Anyways,
yeah.
Thank you for getting high at 9 with us Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific and high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to our audience and supporters, to the haters for still talking. Huge thank you to True Classic, LAXCC, and Weavers for helping us keep the lights on. Thank you to our correspondents for being amazing, and to Cannabis for giving us a reason to do this. Thank you to 3 is 4 for helping us create something amazing in this cannabis miniverse. And thank you all for tuning in and getting high at 9 with us.
Yeah. Pornhub,
Friday, y'all.
Rumble.
Oh my God, my eyes are red.
Yeah, you're high as fuck.
Pornhub.
I gotta go.
Run that shit.
Into OnlyFans.
You are tuned in to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebs and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and enthogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck, Rico Lamitte, and Nichole West, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Thank you for getting high at 9 with us.